everyone, it's Sunny. This is going to be my summer foundation routine. In the summer, I do like a little bit of glow. I don't like an oily sheen, and I've got combination skin, so I can get, you know, oily, especially on my T-zone. But I do tend to, if it's really hot, and it's been really hot here in Paris, I do tend to get oily. So this is my routine to control the oil, but also still keep a little bit of a sheen. So I do like a sheen on my cheeks and kind of my temples. So I'll show you what I do to kind of do a controlled sheen, I would say, not an all over oil slick. I would love to hear your foundations routines for the summer, and let me know what kind of, what kind of skin you have as well. So I'd love to hear. I'm always interested in everybody's foundation routines, because obviously I've got combination skin, but a lot of my clients have all sorts of skin. So it's important for me to get new ideas all the time on what to use on my clients. Just quickly want to say, yes, I've got blonde hair now. I'm quite excited about it. It was blonde before, but to a Finnish person, that actually wasn't blonde. That was like light brown. In Finland, this is blonde. My previous hair wasn't really blonde. I wanted to go summer blonde. It's not an all over color. It's just tons and tons of like very fine highlights, and it's easier that way. So if I want to go back to darker blonde, we can just put, you know, darker blonde highlights in instead of an all over color. It's so much easier on my hair as well. But anyone knows that has been blonde, it's an addiction. You kind of go back to it. This time around, I was away from it. Well, I was kind of away from it for a year and a half. Last summer my hair went blonder again, but I wasn't doing the same all over color. But it's like, it goes on and off. The time before that, I think I was only darker for about 3 months, and yeah, it's been like that for a long time. So yeah, it's an addiction, and but I love being back to kind of summer blonde, and we'll see what I do in the autumn. So yeah, anyways, that's enough about my hair. So my foundation routine is pretty simple. In the end, I'll talk you through the rest of the stuff that I've got, like on my eyes and my lips, but this is just about the foundation and blusher, basically, on how I kind of do my face, I would say. So let's get started. So I've got a completely clean face. I just put on my SK2. I tend to skip moisturizer often when it's very hot day. So I'm going to go straight to primer. So I'm using my Laura Mercier oil-free foundation primer. I use this mainly during the summer on myself. If you've got very oily skin, it's fabulous all throughout the year. But I've got combination skin, and so I just use this mainly in the summer. So really work it in. So for the foundation, we want it to glow, not to be oily. So I'm going to use a long-lasting foundation. I'm going to be using the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation today, and I'm a 53. Other foundations that I really like for this specific technique is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light, or the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. If you use a foundation that's too matte for this specific technique, it doesn't really work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do most of my face just with the foundation, and then I'm going to mix the foundation and a cream illuminator together. I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. I love this. You could also use MAC Strobe Cream if you can't get your hands on the Becca, but the Becca is, if you can find it, it is totally amazing. So first I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush, and I'm just going to buff it into my skin. So I have a little bit left on my hand, and I'm going to take, my Becca is in Moonstone, and it's like a champagne color. So I've got about half and half of the illuminator and the foundation. I'm just mixing it with my brush. And then I'm going to do, not my whole face, I'm going to do kind of like the outer parts of my face, so top of my forehead here, not the middle. Cheekbones, and then I like to do my jawline as well, because I really like that to come out. And I'm going to do nose. I don't go all the way to the tip of the nose. I just kind of do, just kind of like that. Mine is really short, like this part. For concealer in hot weather, it's good to use quite a dry concealer that will really stay put and not kind of start sliding around your face. So I'm using the Mercier Secret Camouflage. I'm in SC3 and I'm just using a MAC 224. I've been having breakouts recently. I really break out from sunscreens and it's unfortunate. Then I'm just going to conceal under my eyes. First I'm using my Armani Corrector. And I'm just using the same buffer brush. And then I'm going to use my current favourite, the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I am a vanilla. This stays put so well. And before I powder, I'm going to use my bronzer. And for a really glowy look, I like the Chanel Bronze Universel. And I'm going to use it with a little Dior, mine went by Kabuki brush. And I'm just kind of doing kind of my cheek area. It's a little bit contoury, a little bit bronzy, so I am going to the tops of my cheeks as well where the sun naturally hits me, but I am doing a little bit of contouring too. So it's a like half and half. I like to do this before powder. You can actually, with this product, you can do it after as well. I'm going to powder with a loose powder. I'm going to use the Illamasqua Loose powder, and I'm going to be using, actually I'm going to be using a powder puff and a little brush. This is the Paris Berlin, and the number has worn off. It's just a small powder brush. And I'm going to use the powder brush first. I like to use this specifically for kind of under the eyes, where I don't want quite as much powder, but I do want it to kind of keep my concealer in place all day. Also, if you have like problems with mascara smudging under your eyes, this usually helps. And the powder is so fine. It's incredibly fine, so you're pretty safe there. So I just tend to do around my nose as well with this. And then I'm going to take a powder puff. I'm going to really press it into the powder. I tend to press it on my hand first, so I kind of evenly distribute it. And then press it. I'm only doing the center of my face with this. And then I'm going to take the MAC 239. You could use anything for this. I'm just going to brush off any of the excess powder. And I'm going to use the same brush to use a little bit of Hourglass Etheral Ambient powder. And I'm using this as a highlighter. It's a lot lighter than I am, but it gives a beautiful, I like to use a powder highlighter in the summer because it will kind of not make me as shiny as quickly. And then for blush, I could use my all-time favorite, but I keep going on about this. This is the Milani Luminous blush. This is already discontinued, so I'm going to use another firm favorite, and this has a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's the Illamasqua, what is this called? Ambition. It is very similar to Luminous and very similar to Orgasm as well, and it has shimmer in it, so for this type of look I really love a little bit of shimmer. And I'm just using a Bobbi Brown blush brush. I love this color. And sometimes I layer just a little bit more bronzer. I'm using the Lorac Tantilizer, and I'm actually going to just use the same brush. I like to clean brushes like that if I'm you're not using an almost the same product. And I'm going to add a tiny bit more bronzer. This bronzer is great as well because it has that tiny bit of shimmer. So that we're going kind of for a summer sheen look, not the oily look. And with the Becca, you can add a little bit on top if you feel like it's, you want to add a tiny bit more like real iridescence. I know that my face is going to get oilier throughout the day, so I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly finish the rest of my face. I'll tell you what I put on it, but because this is more about like my summer foundation routine, I'm just going to cut here and I'll be right back. So I just quickly finished my makeup. Super simple, but I am in love with this eyeshadow right now. I am so in love with it. It is the Illamasqua's powder eyeshadow in Toxic. And it's just like, I only have this eyeshadow on my top lid. I have nothing else, and I just absolutely love it. I love it with blue eyes. It's amazing on green eyes. It's amazing on brown eyes. It's amazing on loads of people. And when you're working kind of like a bright shade, it's good to keep it, you know, not too much stuff going on other than that. So I've got that. Then I've got just a little tiny bit of Nars's Blondie on my lower lash line, just to define the lower lash line. I'm wearing Tarte's Lights Camera Action, Lights Camera Lashes, and some Ardell 120S's, the self-adhesive ones. And what else? Whoops. Dior linen as like 90% of my days. And also MAC's plushglass in Big Baby. I really love it. I'll use this and Infect from MAC probably more than any of the other ones. And oh yeah, on my brows I also have the SUQQU marker in Moss Green, and this is great because it doesn't matter how hot it gets, it really stays put. And I did prime my eyelids as well with, I actually primed them with Makeup Forever's Eye Prime. I don't like this, I can't recommend it, I'm just trying to use it up really. So yeah, that's just kind of like the rest of my look. And sometimes at this point when, you know, I'm kind of done, I might add a little bit of the Becca on just the tops of my cheekbones, just on top of the makeup. You can just pat it on top of the makeup, it's fine. Just to give a little bit of extra sheen, but I do keep it quite far away from the center of the face because that's where it tends to get really, really oily. But yeah, that is my summer foundation routine on how to be sheeny, not oily. And I would love to know what your summer foundation routine is. I absolutely want more hints and tips. I've got way too many foundations as it is, but I'd like to add to that collection. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.